Payment systems have been very resilient. Competition is continuing. There's a move towards e-commerce. There's a move also in the traditional bricks and mortars to go to e-commerce. And we're seeing a particular shift in the smaller merchant community. How you have seen from the ECB's perspective the initial response to the crisis, but what have been your initial observations?
When it comes to the dynamic, so the statistics show that non-cash payments keep increasing, taking into account that actually e-commerce is on the rise. Now, when we think of what happened then in the crisis, what we could see is the majority of national central banks have observed an accelerated shift from cash to cashless payment instruments. There are more in-app, mobile and online payments, so they have increased in popularity in the context of the pandemic.
This COVID crisis has been an accelerator of trends which were already observed. It has reinforced our belief, which was predating COVID, that payments are critical and strategic.
Payments are like the pipelines, so you want them to work and you don't care how this is, functioning. And I should say, like during the pandemic, payments have worked well. The crisis and the pandemic has accelerated, I think, the digitalization of payments. We've seen it, in the areas of contactless. Consumers, once they have used contactless, they want to use it again for health reasons, but also for speed and convenience. On the SME perspective, we have also noted like more and more SMEs are looking for some digital financing. And I think, the whole industry has a challenge and an opportunity to be serving those clients in the future.
From a Visa perspective, have you seen the same experiences, or how would you describe the last few months?
Certainly from a Visa perspective, the rise in contactless transactions is an undeniable trend. We've seen the increase in contactless transactions without an indication of increased fraud rates. There's probably three ways to think about this, and it's what's governed how Visa is looking at our efforts to support small business. One is to enable small businesses to digitally accept. The second pillar is around enabling those that accept offline to move online and to move quickly. And then I think the third aspect is how do you help consumers support their local small business?
What have you seen with your merchants in the e-commerce space?
We may see some of this, some businesses move back offline in the future. The reality is many of them are going to stay online for decades. And so this massive shift has really already happened. We do see payments and economic infrastructure as a way toward recovery, because payments infrastructure really does have the ability to do that.
Is EPIF like EPI, or is it skeptical?
EPIF likes EPI because it's pro-competition, and as EPIF we like everything that is pro-competition, and that's why we are supportive, I would say, of EPI as such.
There was a question about fintechs, technical providers, Wirecard. We are very much aware of the Wirecard scandal. We've been following that extremely closely, of course. It is premature to draw definitive conclusions as to what happened and what role did the supervision or absence of supervision might have played. There will be a review of PSD2 in due course. And in that review of PSD2, there will be a time, of course, to think about whether some of the hitherto activities which are not covered by the legal framework should be brought into the regulated framework.
Where do you see the potential for instant payments?
Our retail payment strategy, there are 5 objectives, so that it's a pan-European reach and customer experience, convenience and cost efficiency, safety and security, the European identity and governance, and also to bring the costs down eventually, or to keep them low in the long term, also a global acceptance.
From a policy and regulatory standpoint, the more we have open frameworks, global standards that help a number of companies like ourselves be a part of that ecosystem and offer those kinds of different value-added services, whatever the payment rails, I think that makes for a very vibrant ecosystem.
If you look forward 5 years, the one aspiration, the one change you would like to see in European payments?
Let's have this market be a vibrant, competitive, and innovative one where everyone feels, they can thrive and where users are satisfied.
I hope to see an environment that really stimulates innovation. I think there's several pieces to that. I can't touch on all of them, but I do think access to central banking infrastructure for regulated non-financial institutions is an important one.
I would expect that there's a solution that needs the retail payment strategy.
My aspiration would be really seeing Europe as a hotbed of innovation and thriving as part of that digital recovery. I would love to see small businesses really thrive as part of that recovery and come out even stronger.
From EPIF, in the same, I would say, perspective, it would be like we would have many more members because we would have a lot of innovation and we would be striving and continuing to be the leading trade association representing payment institutions.